pick one question, and Darius has a different perspective. Look, we're all fellow INROADS alum and respectful of each other. Don't feel that you have to have one answer and then we go to the next answer. If there's things that you want to add or perspective with all of your varying backgrounds, we've got time and definitely want you guys to be able to do that.
Joseph, what are you aiming for? Like three people to answer each question, or a little bit more? Like, or is it just however much time we have? Because I know we have to get through all of them.
We actually have a full hour for the panel discussion and 10-15 minutes for Q&A with some additional room. So we'll see where it goes. And we'll see what you guys have on your mind and what you're thinking. I definitely didn't want this to be a rehearsed pre all the questions ahead of time, but whatever comes top of mind. I mean, you all are we're all professionals and all have just awesome different experiences that we can share. So there really isn't a target per se, as if we were like in an in-room auditorium or plenary session at an in-person conference where we'd have to kind of target that. So and unless I'm missing something, you've got other ideas as well, Yvonne, please let me know.
So no, sorry, I was troubleshooting, which is those things that I get to do, which is why I was like, excuse me for a second, get over here, trying to get one more of your colleague panelists in the room. But no, we've had this conversation and I think we have a good flow. You all have been in professional rooms long enough to know how to read the room and how to go with the flow, right? And oh, are you in, Darian? On a call in. So I don't even, because you're calling in.
Darius Hockaday?
I'm here.
He's in. He's in.
So Darian.
Oh,
Darian is another one of our alum, Darian Wright, but he's having some tech issues, so he's calling in. Here, I can allow you to talk. Okay, can you? What's going on?
Do you hear me now?
So I can hear you because you're showing as an attendee, not a panelist. So you have to come. You got to come in because you probably came in the front door. Did you come in from the platform?
I used the Zoom link that you sent last night at 9 o'clock.
Well, your folks is in the room.
Your email said Zoom link, and then there's a second one that has webinar ID, and I clicked the Zoom link.
So go in again this morning. I just sent you so I just sent it to you again. I'm not sure if there's some little technical challenges because the world was offline this morning. Not really, but the airports at least is slowed down.
Let me check this. I want to make sure I get my background.
Can I interfere? I'm just trying to make him a panelist. Darian, can you please allow yourself to become a panelist? Because I do have the right to make you a panelist.
Okay, thank you.
I just sent you a request to become a panelist. Can you maybe accept it on your end?
And it looks like Chandra has joined, but I can't see you, Chandra. She might be on mute.
While we wait for Chandra, can you confirm that you can actually hear me?
Yes.
Sometimes my audio. I'm in Amsterdam, and okay, great.
Yeah, we can hear.
Also, I'm not sure why, but my background is cut off. I hope it's okay.
It's okay.
Are you on an iPad, Ariel?
No, but I am on my phone because I get better service from my phone.
If you put your phone the other way, allow it to be on the horizontal way, and you'll see it. Yeah, there you go.
Let's see if that works. Oh, there we go. Is it? It's not backwards, is it? You can see it properly.
It's perfect.
Yeah, we can see it the front way. All right.
I know mine looks backwards to me. I hope it's not backwards to you guys.
Okay, so Darian's and so everyone's in.
It's back. It's backwards.
Yeah, it looks it to us. I think that's
they are joining the building. You all, hello, look. All eyes on me. Good morning. They are entering the
room. Yvonne, they're not. They're okay. Yeah, they're in.
They're in. So these are all those hot mics and unedited clips that everybody gets to see. So I love it. I love it. I love it. It keeps me honest, right?
Hi, Xavier. I see Xavier on as well.
Yes, Xavier is. So everyone is coming in. It is morning. Yesterday we had an amazing turnout. So hopefully today it will look like that for us as well. I know it's early. I always have to laugh a little bit because the West Coast, they hang in there. The West Coast hang in there. But now the interns have started. I mean, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. A lot of work days have gotten started. A lot of work days have gotten started. And so we are here. We are in the room. And I am excited about it. And so good morning and welcome to day two. Day two. Did you all enjoy yesterday? Tell me. Thank you. Yesterday was pretty awesome, I must say. We had an amazing kickoff with the fabulous Mrs. Joy Fitzgerald. We had a variety of sessions, all designed to help you grow. We had a diverse panel of speakers, and today is not going to disappoint either. Okay, but remember, do not forget what Miss Fitzgerald said to us yesterday. She said, stand out on purpose. Be seen, be heard. Okay. So, wow, the internet may have heard us loud and clear because it truly wanted to shut down, and it shut down the airports for a lot of people, hoping that you weren't impacted. So just go ahead and check on your friends and your family. But today we're starting with our amazing alumni panel. This group of distinguished speakers have been where you are. They all started their journey here at INROADS, and they're going to tell you it had different names, it had different meanings, and they all had to show up and stand out. Okay? They're going to tell you how they leveraged their opportunities to get to where they are today. Our panel is from Gen Z to Gen X, and there was a little joke in the room about being close to Boomer, but we're not going to say that. We're going to stay on the Gen X side, but they all have something to share. So while you all are still coming in the room, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our alumni moderator. Now, Mr. Joseph Ellis is his name. And Mr. Ellis is definition of where the money resides. Because, okay, let me tell you that not only is Mr. Ellis an INROADS alum and an Oxford scholar, but he's a Fortune 50 financial services executive and board director with 20 plus years of experience driving growth and profitability for public and private companies. Over the course of his career, he has generated and enabled over, y'all ready? 9.4 billion with a B. Now that's where the money resides. In lifetime revenue through setting up corporations and business verticals for high growth trajectories, new market penetration, product development, technology, and AI investments, advancing database decision-making at the highest organizational level, and implementing strategic planning, effective organizational design, and resource allocation at scale. At scale, because it's over $9 billion, okay? So now what I'm gonna do, which I always do after I say a few words, is step out of the space to allow our distinguished panel to be front and center. Remember, you all are in webinar, don't stress. You still can throw your questions in the chat because we want to hear from you. If you raise your hand, I might be tech savvy enough to let you speak a little bit, but we are going to allow our panel to take the floor, and Mr. Ellis is going to let you know who else is in the room.
Yvonne, thank you. I'm humbled, and thanks again for that wonderful introduction. The Cash App money I promised to sit in your way for such a great introduction. upon the end of the session this evening, when we get to happy hour, I promise I will hop on my phone and I will cash app you the $25 I promised you for that introduction. No, all joking aside, no, it's really exciting to be here and definitely love INROADS. And without INROADS, I would not be where I am today. And I cannot speak for my fellow panelists, but all of them are esteemed with wonderful backgrounds and varying degree of experiences. And I think they would all agree with me, because of INROADS, we are where we are today, and we are where we're going to be as we all continue our journeys, because journeys never stop. As you guys know, just because for many of you, especially graduating seniors, this coming up academic year, it does not stop. It's just the beginning. Well, let me introduce my fellow alumni panelists. Remember, Yvonne said today's session is really leveraging the opportunity in front of you. And all of us collectively, and each one of the panelists individually, has definitely had opportunities, have learned how to leverage it, and the different skills, different backgrounds, and in different industries represented here. So I'm going to introduce briefly the panelists in no particular order. So we've got Chandra Frank, and Sandra, if you could raise your hand either virtually or on the screen here. Chandra is a sports education, finance, and energy trading expert with over 20 years of experience, having most recently served as executive vice president of finance for the Houston Botanic Garden. She's the founder and CEO of the Lake Houston Youth Sports Association, and in addition serves as Vice President of Media and Community Relations for the Legends of the Ball. Next up for a panelist, we have Darius Hockday. Darius, if you could raise your hand virtually or in front of the camera, please. So Darius, upon graduating from Temple University around the time of the pandemic in 2020, he initially launched his career at JP Morgan Chase before transitioning to American Express as a product manager in the consumer rewards and card sector. Currently, Darius applies his expertise in hospitality, focused on loyalty strategy at Marriott International. We all know the hotel brand. In addition to his corporate career, Darius founded Hockday & Company, a consulting firm dedicated to empowering and inspiring entrepreneurs and fostering small business development. And I know many of you interns also have aspirations and interest in entrepreneurship. So I know he'll provide some perspective on that as well. We also have Michael Jordan. Michael, please raise your hand or virtually or on camera. Michael has more than 35 years of leadership experience in corporate America, public accounting, auto manufacturing, and the oil and gas industries. He's currently the controller for Hightowers Petroleum. Michael also teaches professional ethics, Toyota's problem-solving methodology, and interview preparation. I also want to make note that Michael, because we have a lot of accounting majors, Michael is also a CPA certified public accountant and a CFE certified fraud examiner. Next up, we have Rosanna Scarpetti. Now, you might remember Rosanna if you were in one of her sessions yesterday, and I know she gave a lot of value with her special guest that we had. So for those of you that may not have seen her session, Rosanna is a fintech and fixed income or bond sales specialist and product management leader with over 20 years of success in the banking and electronic brokerage industries. The firms that she has included and has added value to include TradeWeb, JP Morgan, Credit Suisse, and another juggernaut in the industry, Deutsche Bank. Also, I want to make note that Rosanna is a certified health coach, a certified holistic life, and executive coach. So she also brings some different perspectives as well. We also have Ariel Solomon. Ariel, if you could raise your hand, please, or in the chat, thumbs up. So Ariel, based actually in Amsterdam, I don't know where she is today. We never know where Ariel is, but Ariel is the founder of Solomon Strategies. So Solomon Strategies is a firm that provides strategy, business operations, digital transformation consulting, where she works with startup leaders to operationalize and scale their business. So again, more perspective on the entrepreneurship and business initiative startup. Prior to starting her firm, She served as a tech leader with Tesla, and she actually was one who introduced the Model Y, so the Tesla Model Y, to the European market, where she achieved quarter-over-quarter record banking sales volume. So last but not least, we have Darian, right? Darian, if you could raise your hand either virtually or in front of the camera for us, please. So Darian serves as CFO and COO, so Chief Financial and Chief Operating Officer at the National Geographic Society, where he's a strategic partner to the CEO, the board of the company, as well as the senior leadership team to advance the society's mission. Prior to National Geographic, he held executive roles at Brookfield Asset Management, one of their portfolio companies, Marriott, again, another hospitality, as well as Sprint Nextel, so telecommunications and cell phone provider. I also want to make note that Darian is also a CPA or certified public accountant. So again, I want to have us all welcome via the chat to our esteemed panelists. You'll find with their varying degrees of background, they will provide just a wonderful, wonderful source of perspective. So keep in mind, the theme for today's session, as Yvonne mentioned, and I'll mention it just one more time, is leveraging the opportunity in front of you. Opportunity can mean not just job and career, it could be business building. It could be a variety of things. So I'm going to start off by asking some of the panelists some questions to give us their perspective based upon their background. So without picking on any one of our panelists in particular, my first question is, what strategy or strategies do you use to recognize and evaluate potential opportunities? Anyone would like to grab that question?
I can start off. Good morning and good afternoon to somebody, all those out there. Really appreciate you all joining today. Usually when you're looking at opportunities, one of the things that INROADS taught me actually was to make sure that whatever organization you're joining, that their mission and your mission align with each other. You will never, it will be very difficult to be successful at a place where their mission is so estranged to your mission, your personal mission, that you can be effective there. So it really made me look for organizations that lined up with the way I thought and the way I believed. So I thought that I could give a lot more effort to the organization. So that's the main thing I looked at. I looked at the culture of the organization, the leadership, like I said, and their and their strategies to make sure they line up with mine. So you don't want to be in a place where they're going in different directions or doing things that you don't feel are where you want to go. So that really helps when you are trying to narrow down one good offer from another good offer.
Michael, that is great perspective. Anyone of the panelists have anything else to add? Because I know Michael cannot be the only one who's ever had and looked at an opportunity. Or maybe he is. I don't know.
Hey, Joseph, I'm happy to go second.
Okay,
I think there's two things for me that kind of jump off the page. One is this idea around my point of view, right? So this idea that, especially when it comes to a career opportunity, am I joining an organization that is going to allow me to have a seat at the table and really express my point of view, whether that be a financial decision, market decision, growth decision? You want to find yourself, kind of engaged, if you will, in terms of the direction of the company, as opposed to being somewhere in the back room, just churning out analysis. So that's number one. And obviously that comes with time as you grow and advance, if you will, in your career. But then I would say the second item is really around, will you be able to get exposure to multiple areas in the business? Because I think sometimes, a lot of times, folks will get pigeonholed, whether it's in the finance side, HR side, a lot of times the support roles. And you really have to make sure that you are getting exposure to the front line and really understanding how the company makes business and how the company makes money, and really understanding the business of the company. And so to the extent that you can make sure that if you are in those central roles, or even if you're supporting those central roles, that's kind of where you want to be.
Great perspective, Darian. Hey, and before anyone else might want to jump in, I know it looks like Colby Murray, you've raised your hand for questions as one of our interns. As we get to the end of our session, we're going to open it up for Q&A. So if you could just hold on to your question, we'll be able to engage and answer that later. So again, Darian, anyone from anything else? Anyone else like to add? Looks like Rosanna.
I'll piggyback on what Darian just said. So thinking back to when I was choosing my internship, actually, so I had, I think it was Summit Bank, a bank that obviously got gobbled up back 20 years ago, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and one other one that I can't remember, Procter & Gamble, that's it. And they were all really great opportunities. Some were even paying more than others. And I just want to make sure people understand that money is definitely, like, the money going in is not the end all be all of like how you assess an opportunity. The great company isn't either, because, you know, Procter & Gamble was a great company. Summit Bank was a tiny little regional bank. You really have to look at your end all be all like goal. So if you have your 5-year goal, your 10-year goal, whatever it is, really envision what, if you're going in this opportunity, in this direction, is it possible to be where you want to be in 5 years? Whether it's monetarily, physically, like in every which way, what opportunities are you getting? And how Darian said, a lot of places will pigeonhole you. So you have to look at that culture as well in that company. If you go this direction, will you be able to move over to a different department if you don't like that area anymore? Or if you want to try and do a different one? So I think Darius here worked at JP Morgan. He probably saw the culture. When I was looking, I did choose Summit Bank, by the way. But when I was looking at moving from, you know, different banks, I worked at Deutsche, then Credit Suisse, and then at JP Morgan. One of the things that brought me to JP Morgan was the fact that they allowed people to move around. And at JP Morgan, I had 3 different, very distinct jobs, very distinct areas of the bank. So look at places that are open to mobility and flexible with what you need and how you want to evolve your career.
You know, Rosanna, I'm so happy you mentioned that money piece, that money component. And no, not because of what Yvonne said earlier about my banking background, but it's interesting because I know it's an inclination. Look, all of us have been there where you guys are. We have bills. There's a number of things, and you know, looking at offer letters, it would seem like the highest paying might be the best. And to Darian's point, to Rosanna's point, even to Michael Jordan's point, when you look at and do the analysis, that may not be the best. And I'll admit for myself, so my sponsoring company, upon my conversion, out of all the companies and sponsors of offers I received, my sponsoring company gave me the lowest offer. And guess what? I went with it because it made sense. I knew the culture. I had spent many summers there. And it really made sense for me. And I ended up having a 25-year career with my sponsoring company. If I would have went with the highest offer, to Rosanna's point, things changed. I won't tell you the name of the other company, but let's just say they're not around today. So you just never know. And, you know, of course, none of us can, you know, have a crystal ball for the future. But I love Rosanna's point. It is more than just the money and that initial offer there. Well, we're going to go into the next question. So we've had a chance to hear a little bit about strategies, evaluating opportunities, recognizing it. So the next part of all of us is preparing as enroaders, even us as